Hello and welcome back to Neuropa City Zoo. So our main goal for today is going to be to add 2 new habitat animals into our kind of North American section of our zoo. But of course, as always, we're going to have to start off with some animal management because a few things have gotten away from us a little bit here. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So taking a look at our big cats over here, because we always have some kind of management that we need to handle with our big cats. Our Siberian tigers are doing good. They are good to go. So essentially, I think it was just last session we introduced a new female, one of our male cubs from the trade center, and they're going to be reproducing for a while. They have a ton of cubs already. So, wow, they had 4 at once? Okay, that's insane. I didn't realize that, but yeah. Anyway, they are good to go. Our Bengals as well, I believe. Let's take a look. Yeah, so both of our Bengals, these are still our original Bengals, and they are both elderly now, so we might have to get the trade in there going pretty soon here, maybe even by the end of the episode. But the very first thing that we need to deal with is the jaguars. There are no jaguars in here anymore. We must have had our 2 originals still kicking, and they have since passed away. So let's take a look at the jaguar that we have in storage. Okay, so it looks like we have a female jaguar that we had previously decided was our top jaguar. Is that still true? Oh, no, I don't. It's not true at all anymore. Okay, so it's definitely him. So we're gonna mark, I can't rename her here. Okay, so we're gonna keep this male jaguar for sure. Everybody else is gonna go off to trade. He is a little bit older. He must have lived in the enclosure for a little bit longer than he should have, but that's okay. His stats are amazing. So why don't we find him a female? Check out how the market's going. Okay, so we can get a really good female jaguar for around 2,000. 500. It is half of what we I don't know about that. Maybe we won't go for gold. Maybe let's just check out bronzer better, see if we can find a really good silver one for a little bit cheaper. No, see, I don't want to give him somebody too low down because he has really good stats. Ooh, should we go for a melanistic one? That's really fun. Or should we try to breed our own melanistic one maybe? It's the same price. Yeah, she's older though. Yeah, okay. I'm leaning towards her, and I think maybe let's just refresh. Maybe we just go for it. We do have a few jaguar to put up for trade, so maybe we can just get this back right away. Let's do it. Okay, so now she is in the quarantine waiting for us, and let's just hop over here and check out how our elephants are doing. I haven't really checked on them in a while. They seem to be pretty self-sufficient actually. Guests are liking the habitat, so that's good. And we have, yeah, okay, so elephants are a little bit slower, I think, to age, as far as I understand, so they won't need any attention for a while. We have still our 1 male. He looks like he's still in breeding age. I think elephants were one of the ones that breed all the way to death, so that's not a problem. Yeah, 2 females, and they've only had each 1 baby so far. How is your habitat welfare? Okay, so they actually don't have enough hard shelter. Maybe because there are more elephants now. I think I can just build the exact same hard shelter over here. I'll do that off camera briefly in a moment, but let's just continue our little tour here. Alright, where are... Oh, there they are. Oh, yes. Excellent. So, okay, wait, I'm gonna actually click on the habitat so we can get a good overview of who all is here. And I think it's still... Yeah, so this was... I haven't really played much off camera since last time. We still have just 2 adults, 2 babies, and I think it should be pretty much the same for our grizzlies. Where's your 8? There it is. 2 adults, one kid. Habitat's pretty barren. Really? This habitat's barren? Is it because I have a giant log cabin? I wouldn't really call that barren, but maybe it needs a few more. Maybe it needs a little bit more foliage and stuff over here, but we can always spruce that up a little bit when we make these areas here. And of course, as always, I'm sure we have some peafowl that we need to send to the trade center. Yeah, okay, we're basically still kind of waiting. I think our peafowl are going to get a little bit more organized in time. I'm basically waiting for all of our original ones to, pass away and empty empty this place. It looks like maybe none of them are having babies anymore. I think I had a few breeders here. So essentially when they do, I'm going to put 2 peafowl back in here. Only 2. They're just going to keep the population in here. Hopefully not too high, because I think the huge population of peafowl in this small little enclosure is what keeps like causing the diseases and stuff. So I'm going to try to, slowly make that a little bit better. And our flamingo are also pretty darn self-sufficient. I haven't had any notifications that, they're getting overcrowded or that they're inbreeding or anything really. I don't know exactly how many are in each habitat. Let's see. Yeah, so this one has 19 flamingos, including a bunch of babies, which I have been trading off a lot of flamingos. So essentially, as they age up, I either choose them to keep breeding if they have really good stats, or I put them up for trade because flamingos are worth a ridiculous amount of conservation credits right now. Shocking. Let's see here, and 11 here, so... Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll deal with them in a bit. I think the flamingos are doing just fine. Alright, and let's move our new female jaguar into her home, as well as grab our male jaguar out of the trade center. And we should probably put all of these guys up for trade while we are at it. Alright, our jaguars are in, and we got a little reward for placing 2 more animals, but here they are. How fun! Look just like our old jaguars, but of course we'll have to keep an eye on them, see if they start breeding and all of that. What's wrong with your social welfare? Is it just stress? Oh, space. It's so interesting. I don't know why this keeps changing. Climbing area. See, our last jaguars had enough climbing area, so I don't know what's going on there, but I will add a few more climbable trees. I think this is a climbable tree. Let's just put another one over here and see if that helps. Alright, there we go. I added in a couple more tamarind trees and a nice little vine on this side, and I think they can... climb over that now. Oh, we're not going to see any of the traversable area. Okay, there we go. I don't know. That somehow helped our climbing. Really? I thought... Why is it not showing that they can climb this? Okay, I don't know, but whatever, it worked. I don't know what's going on. Oh, look at this, we've got our little snowball in the... I was like, wait, what did I place something in this habitat? But no, they have a toy. Oh, cute. Ah, and our, yep, as I said at the beginning here, our Bengals are dying, so let's call the vet. Is he dead? He's not dead yet. Is he dead? Okay, I don't know. Thought usually it just like showed something else that I could click to call the vet over, but well, that means that you're gonna croak soon too, doesn't it? Is he gonna be okay by himself for a little bit? Yeah, he'll be okay by himself for a little while. And look at that, we have also finished completely all of our mechanic research. Actually taking a look at the staff as well. I don't think we've taken a look at our staff in a while on camera, but we do now have 3 caretakers. It's probably not enough caretakers, but our guests are happy right now, so I'm not... Oh boy, somebody escaped. Okay, just I'm gonna finish this thought first, and then we'll deal with that. But we do have a bunch more keepers now, about 2 or 3 per area, 3 for Flamingo Falls, 2 for Catwalk, 2 for Bear Burrow, so that's good. And we have a bunch more mechanics. I think I hired like 3 mechanics at once because I was tired of our vending machines going down all the time and our power and everything, so hopefully that works. Vendors, I mean, I don't really do anything about vendors, but we do also now have another vet, so we have 1 for each of our 3 main areas now. And who escaped? Oh, of course you did. That's this tree they can get up on top. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll capture him and fix that. There, that should do it. Yeah, that's fine. It's a little bit more random now, but whatever. That will work. Alright, so the next thing that I want to look at is our next couple of habitats. So, what we are going to be working on today are the habitats that are going to go right here, kind of square, similar to these ones here, and right here. So we are going to be doing the timber wolf up here, and down here a little bit more of kind of like a savanna-ish biome. We're going to be doing the bison and the pronghorn antelope together in this little area here. They are both temperate animals, as well as I think they have some mixed biomes, but they are temperate and they do really well together. So it's going to be our first mixed habitat actually, which is going to be fun. But I'm currently trading a bunch of our big cats for a little bit extra conservation credits, and I noticed, apparently I purchased this jaguar. It wasn't one of our original jaguar, and I need to start keeping notes because it's been a few days since I've come back here, and I didn't notice, I guess, in like the listing details that this is not our jaguar. We were meant to breed him with one of our female jaguars, so this was a bit of a waste, but hopefully we can get some more conservation credits from these guys in the next hour or so. But let's take a look at the animals that we are needing. Okay, so here we are looking at the American bison, the pronghorn antelope, and the timber wolf. So it looks like we can get pretty good stats on everybody for affordable, actually. I like that. So we are going to need, obviously, 2 bison, 2 antelope, and 2 timber wolves. So that's going to be 6 animals. We have 4,000, so as long as they're all under, if they're all less than 1,000, we should be good to go. Let's take a look here. So pronghorn antelope, obviously it looks like we can get a gold rated one. Yeah, it looks great, 330. I think we should just get that. These two are both kind of meh on their immunity. Maybe there's a better female. Oh, actually, no, the price skyrockets right here, so maybe there's not a better female right now. Let's just wait for that one, but our bison... Oh, our bison is actually... Okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so they're just a little bit short on supply. Maybe we should do... I think this bison is pretty good. Longevity is not good at all, but maybe we can get a female to complement him. And our timber wolf as well. It looks like we are going to have to look later for a female. Unless we want to go below bronze. We are currently filtering for bronze or better, but I think we want to stick with bronze or better. We have the conservation credits to do it now. Should I spin? Should I splurge on the really good one? High fertility? Medium fertility? No, it's just, fertility's not that big a deal. They'll have babies. Oh, and everybody's escaping again. Okay, hold up. What is happening here? Not sure why this keeps changing. So we essentially have... I mean, our jaguar habitat was perfectly fine before. Because you can see here that they're climbing these trees, but apparently they are not climbing these trees. I don't know, everything I guess kind of broke maybe when I put those trees in, so I could just get rid of them. Alright, now if we go back to the jaguar that we still have in our enclosure, there she is. Or he is, I suppose. Now can you still escape? Let's let it just recalculate. Yeah, where? Like, why can they suddenly escape again? They must be jumping from here to here. But I thought we had fixed that. Oh, there we go. Catch that? She just jumped right from here to here. Okay. Okay, well, I guess I will make this railing too high. Maybe that'll help. Alright, let's see if that helped. Yes, there we go. Okay, so I just made the railing up here too high, and it seems like they can no longer jump over it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. They were suddenly able to jump over it again. But I got rid of those trees that I put in here, which made the climbable area go down too much, so I am going to fix that as well, but I'm glad we got that one solved. And with all of our problems finally solved, let's just dive right into the time lapse. So as a quick reminder, we are setting up for 2 habitats here, one for our timber wolves and one that will be shared by the American bison and pronghorn antelope. I am keeping these habitats pretty simple. We do have a few more gimmicky habitats planned for the zoo later on, but this area is really just meant to showcase the animals themselves. But speaking of gimmicks, I have called this area Rocky Ridge as a nod to it being a sort of North American area and the ridge that the guests are walking along here throughout all the habitats. So first things first, I am just filling out underneath the pathway with these plain, simple white plaster walls. This just kind of, I don't know, it's meant to add a little bit of support to our path so we're not just, floating pathways in the middle of nowhere, but also acts as a barrier in between the habitats here as well. The large square area at the end here is going to be a little food court. I don't think I'm going to add too many shops here. I think it will get quite crowded with the animal viewing, and there are so many shops right next door in Bear Burrow. I can't imagine the guests are going to be needing too much by the time they get here. But we have been seeing a lot of issues with keeping guest happiness up, so every little bit helps. You are going to see pretty soon here that underneath the food court is also going to be the shelters for both of these 2 habitats, with a little bit of a barrier in between. I used the same trick in our elephant habitat as well, but I find that these more compact city zoo habitats, it just helps a lot with space to have the shelters for the animals right underneath the pathways. Realistically, it would probably be way too noisy with guests walking up above the shelters. I mean, yeah, in real life, I don't think the animals would love that, unless you could really insulate the sound coming from up top, which we can kind of assume is what's going on here. But I've never really had a problem with this in-game, and I mean, all in all, I like making things a little bit realistic, but it is just a video game, and the whole point, for me at least, in playing this a lot of the time, is to kind of flex that creativity and really enjoy it. So I'm not too focused on being 100% realistic all the time. But the first habitat that we're working on here is the timber wolf habitat. Overall, you're going to kind of see that it's mostly focused on being a fairly natural, plain habitat. We've got this river in the background that we are going to do a little trick to keep it connected to the other river that goes through the bear habitat as well, so that we don't have to get another water treatment plant. And that is just going to be to put the chain link habitat barrier in here so the water can flow through. Something that I did not do in the time lapse that I did have to do later on is make the top of this unclimbable for the bears, because the bears will climb over that chain link fence. So just a little tip, if you are going to use that, make sure you put the climb-proof barriers on the top. But yeah, just working on the river here. As I was saying, this habitat, it's going to be mostly just this cute little river in the background that you can, kind of see from the viewpoints up top, but I really wanted to make a nice dense looking forest area for our wolves. There's going to be a couple of like little plain areas there as well that kind of line up really well with the viewing areas for the guests. So we'll have a feeding area that's in the open so the guests can see the animals, and some play area as well, just so that the animals can kind of get a mixture between, roaming in the pine forest and also, our guests being able to see them through everything. I did play a little bit here as well with, as you can see, the moss on the rocks, and I didn't put any of this in the bear habitats. It's kind of, I don't know, every time I make a new habitat, I find that there's like little and little, like more and more little things that I don't know, I just kind of add that extra little bit of detail. So I might have to go back through a little bit and spruce up both areas in the end. But next here, the pronghorn and bison habitat. This one was quite a bit more challenging for me. The bison are grassland animals, so the foliage is very few and far between, and they do really want that more like just plain, obviously, grassland area, so they can just kind of roam freely and don't need too much plant coverage. So I find it a little bit, I don't know, I find it so much easier to make habitats look good when you're able to just like throw in a bunch of foliage and trees and plants, because they just, I don't know, the trees and plants and stuff look so good in this game. But what I end up doing, you'll see in a minute here, is I brought in a few elements from the other habitats that we've already done. So these great big circular stepping stones from the elephant habitat and one of these platforms from our big cat habitats, just to kind of fill out the space a little bit with something other than plants. And this does work out quite well. Both our antelope and our bison can kind of come up and wander around on here, and it just kind of, yeah, I think it adds a little bit more visual excitement to the habitat. In the end, I definitely wouldn't say that this is one of my favorite habitats that I've built. I think I don't know, I don't love the way that it looks in the end, but I mean, we might come back to it at some point. Ultimately, I didn't really want to spend too much time on it at this point. But I think maybe even, I don't know, maybe even moving the water, like the little pond feature, to the middle to kind of use up a bit more space or something might have worked out a little bit better. But I think ultimately it's fine for now. We don't want to make things too complicated. But last but not least, we are on to the food court area. So nothing too exciting here. Just kind of playing around. You'll see once we get to decorating these buildings after a lot of messing around with the pathwork. The pathwork, actually, I'm really happy with how it turns out here. I didn't really have to make any weird, like super weird adjustments to the path or anything. It all kind of squared up perfectly in the end. But after all of this is done, you will see we stick to more of the New World pieces again here. Just kind of really heavy on that dark wood, that dark clean wood piece, just to kind of keep with the modern sort of woodsy feel we have going on here. I also do totally cover up this area with glass just to, I don't know, it rains a lot here and the guests complain about it all the time, so the more sheltered areas I think we have, the more happy the guests will be. And it actually did kind of get me thinking, the walkway as well, like the ridge, I mean, it could be enclosed, maybe not even in glass, but just like straight up enclosed with like glass walls so that the guests can still see the animals. I'm not really sure. I find it a very tricky thing because obviously you don't want to have a totally indoor zoo, that's not the point, but guests get so upset when it rains that like our guest happiness does go down to that like kind of that orange face you see in the bottom of the screen there every single time that it rains, and I don't really know what the best thing to do about that is. But in the end, in this food court, we end up with 3 drink shops, 2 food shops, and a washroom. So a little bit, I mean, it is actually quite a bit. I said at the beginning that I was going to try to keep this area quite simple, and we already had a whole bunch of food shops and stuff in the big building behind us, but I mean, yeah, it's fine. I think the more shops, the better here, really. But I think that pretty much wraps up the time lapse. So let's take a look at the animals that we put in here. All right, and here we are. So we got our 2 timber wolves, and they are just plowing their little mini forest here. Where's the other one? Oh yes, with your price neck. Didn't really have to edit the enclosure here much at all, just added a little bit more dirt. They wanted more dirt, less short grass, which was perfectly fine. Luckily we have enough space for them, and that all looks really good. They're also really not picky with plants, so that's nice to know. And they already have enough enrichment as well, so they seem to be pretty much good to go. They can go around the entire habitat, they can go in the water, they can go through the trees, everything, so... Oh, is he gonna go swimming? Oh, that was so cute. Oh, he was like a dog. You just like dive into the water. That's really cute. I like that. You can get out, right? Yeah, I guess they can jump back out. That's fine. Okay, cool. And over here we have our pronghorn. And I don't have the bison yet. We're a little bit lagging. There we go. I don't have the bison yet. I have not been able to find a female bison in the marketplace. That is not awful. So, come on, give me the marketplace. Yeah, it's like, this one just got posted. Well, actually, it got posted almost an hour ago, and I have not seen any others. I keep kind of checking back and forth, but I mean, she's not awful. We can definitely breed out the fertility and immunity issues, but I don't know. We just have so many conservation credits now. I just want to wait until a good one gets put on the market. Hopefully they don't list them for like 5,000 conservation credits. That would be unfortunate, but these guys also really enjoy their habitat. They can kind of go everywhere. They can go up on this little ledge here. I don't think, do they swim? Oh, they do swim. Okay, that's really cool. I've never seen them swim either. But yeah, I think I just had to add a little bit of soil here as well, and they do not mind it one bit. I think they do not really mind a lot of coverage, but I think the bison is going to mind coverage, so we might have to edit this one a little bit more when we get that bison in. But besides that, I think these two habitats are complete. We also have, of course, the food court here. Sorry, we are lagging a ton all of a sudden. Hopefully that doesn't keep up. But guests seem to be starting to use it, at least. We've got lots of people looking for water, as always, and it looks like milkshakes over there as well, so that is good. I don't know why we don't have a vendor here, but we can probably figure that one out as well. And with all of that said, I think it's about time to wrap up this episode. So as always, I hope you enjoyed it, and leave me any feedback, questions, comments, anything you have in the comment section below, and I will talk to you in the next episode.